I'm 2 months out from my first ever triathlon, and I'm coming at it as a guy who has zero prior experience in the sport. Starting last summer, I gained a solid foundation in swimming, biking, and running, and I signed up for a sprint triathlon that includes a 300-yard pool swim, a 15-mile rolling bike course, and a flat 5K run. As a full-time college senior that works part-time and graduates soon, I got a lot on my plate, so here's how I've been wedging my workouts into my average week. Alright, so today is March 30th, 2026, which means I am exactly 2 months out from the day from my first ever triathlon. Just as a disclaimer, I picked this week specifically to film this video because this week is quite light on the schoolwork. On average, I want to say I get like 4 or 5 workouts in a week and not 6. I was able to get 6 in last week, and I'm hoping to do the same this week. Mondays are really easy because I only have one class on Monday and it's at like 4 p.m. We don't need no education. Notice how I always have to pick the one closest to the lifeguard tower, just in case I drown. Can never be too safe as a newbie. So the best part about a swim workout is the immersion, the first immersion, because it's always way too cold. Now, we're ready to swim. I always aim to do at least a half mile each time I come in. Since the sprint triathlon distance is only 300 yards, that equates to around 12 laps of a 25-meter pool. I always start out warming up with 12 laps just to see how I am. I did film B-roll for this, but it was like the first day back from spring break, so I was way more focused on the filming, and my form was very sloppy. On there. Not great by any means. First thing I do with the fins is I do just 4 laps of the kickboard. I hate doing the kickboard, but that's what happens when you have a shitty kick and you're new to this, so. Alright, so the next thing I have to do is easily my least favorite part of the entire thing. It's called the 3-6 drill. 3 strokes, like with the arm movement, and then on that third stroke you leave the whichever arm extended, and then you kick. 6 kicks really quick, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Basically, the point of doing all these drills is it isolates different parts of the stroke. So the kickboard helps my kick. The 3-6 helps my my head movement while breathing, and my kick and keeping my arm extended since my arm tends to drop. My God, that absolutely cooks me every single time. And really the last drill that I do is with Pool Boy. What I do there is it isolates my catch and pull. I try to sort of do the catch-up drill where I make sure my arm is completely extended when I come in and then try to do it. And if I did my math right, that leaves us with 4 more laps till we reach 32, which is a full half mile. I just do the remaining 4 laps just normal freestyle, because really what the drills should do is sort of reinforce that muscle memory of my kick, my head placement, and my catch and pull. And theoretically, that should all come together in these last 4 laps. But yeah, only in there for about 33 minutes, which is typical. I'm normally in there about 30 to 40 minutes, depending on just how I'm feeling that day. But the progress being made from swimming is so minimal. And because of how minimal it is, it feels like I'm making no progress really at all with it. More often than not, whenever I go into those last couple laps, like, it's like my brain just forgets, like, how to function because of using the pool buoy in between my legs. Like, I can't kick right anymore. I get cramps like hell in my feet. I really should do some schoolwork tonight, but I think I'm gonna push that into tomorrow morning. I'll probably just watch some Star Trek instead. Tuesday.
Oh, it's 4:30 in the morning.
Out of the 3 disciplines, running, honestly, is probably my favorite. The swimming, you guys already heard my mini rant about that. Biking has its own troubles from a technical standpoint. So running is really just like, you get up and you go. Over the winter, the natatorium was closed for a lot of my winter break. I didn't think about getting an indoor trainer for my bike, so I just like didn't bike for like a month and a half. So I just focused on the running. Early Tuesday mornings is really when I try to get a longer run in. I'm up to 4.5 miles. We're gonna pick this up at the end of the run. Probably like 4 miles in right now, to be honest. I'm almost home. Half mile to go. Let's keep shuffling along here. I've been trying to do better with going purposefully a little bit slower with my runs, because sometimes you go out, out of the gate if you're feeling really good. I'm at the point where I can't do 4.5 miles twice a week. I did that once a couple weeks ago and I felt like really destroyed afterwards. Since I'm going well over the sprint tri distance, which is only a 5K, I don't see a point in putting myself through that strife. And that is one thing I will say about running, is that even though it is the easiest and it's my favorite of the 3, just because I've been the most consistent with it, I've seen the most gains because of that consistency. It is the most physically taxing if you're not careful about your form, especially if you're like super tired. Like today, I was really proud of myself because I kept a good form the whole time. So right now I'm gonna drink some water, eat a protein bar, do my cool down stretches, take a shower, and then I guess work on some schoolwork, because I sort of stuck myself with that this morning. We don't need no thought control. Really, Tuesday and Thursday are my big class days. I have 4 classes on Tuesday, Thursday. At the risk of just sounding like a sad human being, my life is really not all that interesting. In my free time, if I don't have class assignments to work on, I hang out with my girlfriend, and if I'm not hanging out with my girlfriend or doing class assignments, I'm working on editing a video, and if I'm not editing a video, I'm just kind of chilling, and I really just go through the motions, so to speak. I've really taken to exercising because it's such like a new thing, and it makes me feel good. It's a very good quarter life crisis to have. So I think that about wraps it up for Tuesday, because that's really kind of it. Although I would be remiss if I didn't talk about my walking since we're on the subject of cardio. So I need to walk all across campus from the commuter lot all the way next to Beaver Stadium, and that is 1 mile. So I walk a minimum of 2 miles at least every single day. And Tuesday, Thursday, in between my classes, like walking to my different buildings and stuff, it's a minimum of 3 miles. Exactly, actually. My job also factors into that as well, but we will get into that Friday, Saturday, whenever I actually have a job to go to.
Wednesday.
All right, bitches. Let's ride some bike. That was so stupid. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. All right, so Wednesday, basically the same deal as Monday. I still have my one class at 4 p.m. But yeah, so I have the tubes here pumped, basically full. Got the GoPro set up, which I haven't used since like October, I think. Got the phone mount, the helmet, which I will be tossing on, the water bottle, and the saddlebag that's hanging on by a thread because it fell apart here. So it, sort of waves in the wind a bit. And then, of course, you got the tri-shorts. Shout out to my mother for getting me tri-shorts and bike pants for Christmas. So shout out to you, Mom. And then shout out to my dad for pimping out my bike with a saddlebag and a little air pump and a bunch of other stuff that I don't know how to use. I'm very shitty when it comes to bike maintenance. Alrighty, so where have I been at on the bike? Well, to start, my balance is not good enough to get really cool shots of me, like, while I'm riding, like any cool dynamic shots. So you guys are going to be stuck with the classic double angle this whole time. The production value on this video is very low. The sprint tri distance, there's the wind. Alright, but yes, the sprint tri distance that I'm doing at the end of May is a 15-mile bike ride. So I've been really working on dialing in this 15-mile distance. My big goal for the race itself is to do it in about an hour. Consistently for the past 2 weeks, I've been doing this distance in about an hour and 7 or 8 minutes. And of course, the shifting is the main thing that I've been sort of experimenting with, because for a while there I was being an idiot and I was trying to go as fast as possible, so I had it in a really high gear and just like completely cooking my legs for most of the ride. Sure enough, whenever you go slower, they say run slow to run fast when it comes to running, which sounds very counterintuitive until you actually do it. And you're like, oh wow, whenever I don't feel gassed, I actually feel pretty good. And the same thing goes for cycling and swimming for that matter, because I ended up doing the cycling way faster whenever I was not really nailing it in a high gear. My secondary goal is standing up on the pedals and hammering it up hills. Ooh. All right, head stand up. Oh my God. All right, here we go. Come on. Okay, now I gotta stop. Whenever I stand up on the pedals and start to hammer it in, it works out my quads like really good, which I'm 1000% not used to. So my quads get really tired really quick and really sore. My ass starts to hurt, works out the glutes. It does more harm than good, which means I need to practice it. Yeah, okay, so this is our halfway point, at least I think it is. Looks familiar enough. Look that way, looks all clear. Look that way, looks all clear. Look that way again, just to be safe. Then we cross. When it comes to slogging up hills in a lower gear, the return journey always kind of sucks. back out onto the road, and I'm gonna try my best to get through these hills in a lower gear, like this one fresh up here, right up ahead. See, like, look at how slow I'm going right now. It's because the wind is coming towards me, and I'm trying not to tire out my legs by putting it in a high gear. So this is what I mean by slogging. This is gonna help build up my endurance for later on. Cycle slow to cycle fast. So, admittedly, this is a little bit embarrassing because I completely misjudged my halfway point, and that was only 14.7 miles and not a solid 15. My turnaround point is at another mailbox that is clearly not that far ahead of that one, so I just got a little too eager to turn around, I guess. Well, someone seems to be enjoying the weather. Because I didn't bike at all, like, during, like, December and most of January, like, I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with my progress, you know, like, right now, because I'm not walking any hills anymore. Like, I'm getting smarter with the shifting. That's much better than what I was doing about a month and a half ago whenever I got back onto the bike, because I was walking, like, 2 or 3 hills that whole route, but now I'm not walking any of them, so that's nice. Elevation gain, 540. At a time.
That's it. We just ran out of time because I have to be done at 5:40 right now.
I know in the world of cycling, that's like not a lot. That's like pretty easy. And it's easy for me too, but it's just the matter of getting like my legs used to that feeling. That's like the biggest thing. I'm gonna take a sip of the old mashup Gatorade. This is lemon, lime, and orange. The best flavor combined with the worst flavor. So yeah, I'm not a fan of orange Gatorade. Orange Gatorade can go die in a hole as far as I'm concerned. Off to a pretty good start today. Breakfast sandwich from Sheetz, and that Gatorade that I had yesterday really locked me in. I actually got a lot of schoolwork done after my bike ride and everything, so that was nice. So Thursday, as I've mentioned before, basically the same as Tuesday. I still have all 4 of my classes. We're going to analyze my swim form. I'll see you guys in a little bit. So my one class let out early, so I was able to get some Panda Express in the hub. Got the orange chicken, of course, and I have this new like really spicy chicken, which is pretty good. Mouth is tingly a little bit, and then super greens, of course, because vegetables are important. I always hit up the Panda Express in the hub on campus whenever I just like forget to pack my lunch. I got about 2 hours before my final class of the day. I'm pretty much caught up with all my schoolwork for the week, but I'm gonna work a little bit ahead. Just hang out and do some reading, time-lapse time, perhaps. Dying and it's like 1,000 degrees right now. But I wrapped up all the reading that I needed to do, and circling back to what I said on Tuesday about like my life not being that interesting. This is just what I do, you know, as early as freshman year, holding myself up in my room and just reading, doing schoolwork, doing the assignments. You know, today is an easy week too. Granted, I'm getting ahead, but you know, reading like 30 pages for sociology, you know. I finished writing that cover letter and I applied for that job. Hell yeah, I do really need to take the job search a little more seriously. This is like the most personal I've gotten with, you know, like on the channel since high school, I feel like, just on a day-to-day basis. It feels pretty good, but definitely a little bit weird. I feel out of my element, but in it at the same time. I don't know, it's very odd. one of you guys film my form for me just while I swim real quick? I'm doing this YouTube series where I try to get into triathlon. I've been trying to like teach myself how to swim for the past couple months. I need to upload my form to the internet that way everyone can make fun of me and I can try to change it.
Alright everyone, it is Editing Ian here, doing the swim form analysis. Just gonna let the full uncut clip play here. So, right away, you guys can tell that I'm snaking my body a little bit, but I think that's just a result of poor core strength. My rotation, I think, actually looks pretty decent. And then when it comes to the kick, I try to do the 2-beat kick as best as I can, and the kick is really only to keep myself horizontal, because I don't have enough ankle flexibility for propulsion, and if I kick too much, then I just simply get too tired. And when I get too tired, my kick just disappears and I get gassed and everything. The catch-pull is okay, but I'll circle around to that here in a minute. I think my head placement looks fine, but most of the time my left arm drops, but, you know, I'm working on that. And I can't tell in this clip if I cross over, but I know I do whenever I get tired. That's just something, you know, endurance related, but I just need to stick with the muscle memory. And, you know, after these 2 laps, after I was done filming, I felt pretty gassed, but other days I'm fine. But going back to that catch-pull, I'm just going to replay it here. Recently what's been happening is that my shoulder, specifically my left shoulder, has gotten really sore whenever I go to the pool. And it's worse whenever I swim fast and really try to force it. But I posted this clip to Reddit, and a bunch of people told me that my catch and pull with my right arm looks pretty good, and that's what I should strive to do with my left arm. Because right now, I really try to overextend with my left arm, which I did based off of other Reddit advice. Everyone was telling me to, you know, really reach forward, and I really just exaggerated that movement with my left shoulder. And, you know, the only reason why I started doing that was because back in November, during my last form check, my arms were dropping, like, a lot. I was just completely windmilling my arms. So I'm definitely improving on that front, but in improving that, I have messed up my left arm catch and pull, and my shoulder has gotten really sore. So I've been taking a little bit of a break from swimming, just in the editing portion of things. It's April 16th right now. But yeah, that's just where I'm at with my swim form. I'm looking to get back there into the pool next week and keep working at it. If and when I ever get good at swimming, it will probably be the hardest thing that I ever do, to be honest, because you need to be so particular and perfect with it. Like, endurance has absolutely nothing to do with swimming. I really have been trying hard, and, you know, I'm doing better than what I once was, you know, comparing. Jesus, fucking everyone's playing pickleball over there. Gotta love the pickleball ambiance going on here. But yeah, you know, like back in August, whenever I had my 1 mile filmed by my buddy Adam, like I did that in 52 minutes, and swimming 300 yards in 8 minutes or 8.5 minutes, that projected mile time is like 46 minutes, which is great. You know, I'm making progress. It's just so painfully slow. The mentally taxing piece of the whole thing is, like, if I let my mind wander even just a little bit while I swim, something needs to get messed up. I'm going to need to get a coach at some point, but I'm just not exactly sure when. I'm not sure what this upcoming summer is going to look like. And with only 1 month of the semester left, I don't think I have the time to shove in a training session. Everyone's saying, like, even just one 30-minute training session with a coach can help you immeasurably. So I think that's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm not sure exactly when. But hey, you guys want to see something that I was able to pick up today that I'm pretty excited about? May not look like much, but this is my graduation cord, because I am graduating from the Belisario College of Communications at Penn State with a Bachelor of Arts in Telecommunications and Media Industries as a cum laude. Since I'm the funniest man on the internet, I call it a cum laude. But no, it's cum laude, I think. Yeah, no, that's exciting stuff. I will really not miss my time at Penn State too much. You know, it just wasn't really the school for me, but you know, it was circumstantial that I ended up here. And whenever I started college, it was, you know, the actual coursework was easy enough for me. It's built for people like me who, you know, you just give them a task and you just do it well. But yeah, cum laude, hell yeah. Fridays are good, and I'll tell you why. It's because I have no class on Fridays. So that makes it real easy to do whatever I want until you factor part-time work into it. So I got to go to work today. I got about 2 hours before I go in. I dropped Abby off at her job. She starts early today, so I dropped her off early, which means I don't have to rush my way through this run that we're about to do. Because the run that we are doing today is just a 5K run. We're just doing it nice and simple that way. It's just nice to sort of reinforce the sprint triathlon distance in this way, you know? I can run a 5K, I want to say on average, just looking at the numbers, in 28 to 29 minutes. But yeah, my fastest 5K time, funny enough, is still that turkey trot. And I don't know if that's just because it was a race and something primal came over me and I was just able to do it, or subliminally, since it was a race, I just went faster. But yeah, I've come nowhere. Like, I think the fastest 5K time since that race that I've done was like 27 minutes. We'll discuss the work thing a little bit later on, but yeah, let's get this run in. Holy shit. I think I was really eager to show off how fast I could go. That was 27 minutes flat, just about. But it just feels so good at this point to, like, after all the strife involved in me getting up to the 5K distance, just me being able to roll out of bed essentially really any day of the week and just belt one out. It feels good. I will catch back with you guys whenever we're about to start my shift, because we're gonna be tracking something. But yeah, okay, I'll see you guys then. All right, here we are, all ready to rock and roll, tidied up, I'm ready to go into work. So I still have my curbside job at a super secret store. It's fucking Walmart. It's a Sam's Club. Like, it's all public information. Like, I have a LinkedIn. If people really want to know, just it's publicly available. I love it. Like, it's a very, like, easy job. Like, it's stressful at times, but I think I just work with really good people, I think, is the main thing. I love everyone that I work with. But yeah, the reason why I'm documenting my work experience is because not only is this a week in the life, and this is just what I do on the weekends, but also, if I'm not up front organizing the orders, then my entire, the entire other 3/4 of the job is running around the store, getting the items and putting it on the cart and taking it up front. So it's 9:51, so I go in about 9 minutes, and I'm here until 6:30. So it's like a full 8 hours of just walking around. Yeah, so I'm gonna go in and make some money. 7.48 miles. So I'm gonna pause this right now. But yes, it is lunchtime, and if you guys are wondering what I live off of as an amateur wannabe triathlete who has not done a triathlon yet, peanut butter sandwiches, carrots, and fruit, whatever fruit I decide for the week. But whenever we move into an apartment after I graduate, definitely gonna learn how to chef up some good, nutritious meals. The final amount of miles walked, 12.67. I'm gonna round that down to 12, since the number was sort of drifting a little bit. Hey, are you ready for the date night?
Yes, I am.
Yeah?
I am.
Are you so excited?
I am.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. So if you guys ever wonder what the inside of a Sam's Club sounds like before we open, it's just forklifts for many hours straight. Yeah, it's always so weird to see a store this big just
so empty. Alright, so imagine this process repeated over and over again, like 100 times a day, a couple hundred times a day. And that's essentially like 75% of my work day. So that's pretty much it. I will catch back with you guys on my lunch break. Alright, so I totally just lied to you guys. It is now the end of my shift. It is 3:35. Yeah, 12.86, so I'm going to round that down once again to 12. So 24 miles walked every weekend that I'm at work, which is kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, so after I am off work on Saturdays, what I do is, you know, weather pending, of course, I do a brick workout. So that is going to be something that I'm going to start doing every single week. I was really only doing them whenever I felt not super tired, like okay enough to do one. All I do is I do the 15-mile bike ride and then I follow it up with a 1-mile run. So it's nothing crazy, and it's probably going to stay that way until I get to the actual triathlon. All right, so the almighty weather app has just informed me that there is a chance of light rain right now. And it is indeed raining. And it's actually speeding up, like as soon as I started recording this. Shit, I got it. Okay, first of all, let's turn this off. That is not going anywhere right now. Let me get my rig inside, son of a bitch. And now, my friends, I suppose we wait. God damn it. Alrighty. No more rain. That was actually my personal best time for doing 15 miles. The thing on the Map My Run app chirped in my ear, 15 miles, 1 hour, 2 minutes, and like 50 some seconds. So, you know, I felt like an actual cyclist going through that whole thing. Like I was shifting pretty smart the entire time. So I'm really proud of myself for that. It's kind of crazy to think that I need to do all of that plus a 5K run for the triathlon. But that's why we're doing this now. That's why we're doing the training, and especially the brick runs. I got the shoes on already. I'm gonna take a swig of water. Hell yeah. And now we start running. So, oh yeah, here we go. Heavy ass legs. Actually, I'm recovering like way quicker than what I thought I would, because the first time I did this like a month or two ago, I started to run and I was like, dude, I started like rethinking my entire like quarter life crisis of triathlon that I was going through. I was like, what the hell do you mean I need to ride a bike 15 miles and then run a 5K? There's just no way that that's happening. But even right now, it does feel like I'm straight up running in slow motion, which really sucks. Just tired legs. But again, this is why we're doing this training, because by the time that the triathlon comes around, I should be able to make this transition with very little trouble. I'm probably gonna finish it in about 9 minutes, so I'm about 1 minute in. So 8 more minutes of suffering, and then we're done for the week. All right, already at half mile. Holy shit. Okay, downhill, boys, downhill. Fuck. Okay, I got pretty bad stitch right around in here. Ow, push through, even though it sucked so bad. I got my Spotify playlist on shuffle, and Spoon Man by Soundgarden just started to play. So I have no choice. I gotta finish it strong. Fuck. Speed it up. All right. Whew. All right. Oh my God. That should be 1 mile. Let me just check. Yep. There we go. I still can't tell if this whole triathlon idea and the series alongside it, I still don't know if it's the best decision I've ever made or the worst one. It is 5:45. No, it's actually 5:40. Look at that, you can't make this shit up. It is 5:40 on the dot.
And
so what's gonna happen is
exactly 5:40.
But yeah, all I can say is that I'm gonna sleep really good tonight. 12 miles, got up at like 5 a.m., went to work at 7, walked 12 miles, work hard, earn your pay, come home, bike 15 miles, and run one on top of that. This is awesome. You guys will never see me this wired about anything. I never expected myself to be this wired about anything, to be honest. It's just, it feels so good because you spend your entire existence just not doing this type of stuff. And then you're like, you know what, to hell with it, I'll do it. Teach myself delayed gratification, teach myself some discipline. I'm going to go ahead and do it. And then you do it, and it really sucks in the moment. But then after that, it's like taking a hit of fucking heroin. It feels great. I'm very glad that I'm able to do this. I'm glad that I have the health in me to do this. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go inside and shower before sweat gets in my eyeballs. There's so much sweat. Oh God, there's so much sweat. Oh God, I got some in my eye. Oh fuck, I'm not even fucking with you. I just got some in my eye. Ow. So I was far too busy recovering from sweat in my eyeball to mention this, but Sunday is obviously my off day. There's no work, no school, no swimming, biking, or running. And also, Abby has off from work this day, so most Sundays I just spend hanging out with her, which makes it a nice hard reset day to begin the next week. So this past week that I documented, I did 1 mile of swimming, 30.1 miles of biking, 8.7 miles running, and since we're including cardio in here, I think it's worth noting that I walked 34 miles this week. Around 10 miles on campus just throughout my school days, and then 24 miles during my job this past weekend. So my entire distance covered this past week, minus, traveling by car, is 73.8 miles. And to recap each of the 3 disciplines really quick, let's start with the swim. Now the swim, as I've mentioned before, it's the most mentally taxing of them all. Right now, I'm mainly sticking with it to make sure that I can do the 300 yards without getting too tired. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, swimming twice a week, pretty low effort, low impact, and I will be getting a coaching session at some point soon. I'm not exactly sure when. Now the biking is a weird combo of both physically and mentally taxing. For the past, couple weeks, I've just been trying to gain back my lost training due to not biking throughout December or January at all. And again, I'm mainly focused on shifting a lot smarter and really just combating leg fatigue by biking as much as possible, lower impact to get my endurance up. Now the running, of course, is the most physically taxing if you're not careful. It is my favorite discipline so far just because of the gains that I've seen, and I know that's just because I was consistently doing it throughout the winter, but the point still stands. I am currently up to doing 4.5 miles at least once a week, and I'm going to stick with doing a 5K run as my second run of the week to not tire myself out too much. I have no specific goals in terms of time or speed right now, but I think slowly working my way up to a 10K distance by around the time of the race, I think would be really cool and really attainable to do. So the next time that you guys will see me, I will be a full-on college graduate. I will be a new man, just with the same goal, to complete this damn sprint triathlon on May 30th, 2026. I'll see you guys then.